we can talk about pregnancy loss. I know it's like a taboo topic to talk about abortion, especially in the heightened like times. But as someone who lost a baby in June, I have a lot to say, and I'm not going to turn this into some crazy like debatey here or there, but I just think we live in such a broken world that like I came across an abortion mini vlog and my heart truly broke. It broke for that person who is doing this ad for whatever company is giving her money to support their product. Just making jokes about the products used in an abortion and joking that her baby's now in the sewer. I mean, I am 3 months past my loss and I still ache knowing that like just I pray for these lost souls in this world that think this is normal and okay, and that it's just a clump of cells and this, that, and the other, and it's a beautiful little soul. No matter how far along you were, it's a beautiful little soul. And I want to share my experience with pregnancy loss because it is something that I never thought would happen to me, because I had 3 healthy pregnancies back to back, no issues. It has changed me on such a deep level. I am able to relate to people in my life that I would have not been able to relate with on this level. There's a lot of people that have reached out to me and thanked me for talking about my loss because it was early on, but it's a hard thing. And I feel like I have even more of a strong pro-life opinion now because I experienced this loss. So we got married. Let me rewind. We have 3 kids. We have 3 kids out of wedlock. So we got baptized 2 weeks before our wedding. We had been abstaining like a couple months before that because I got a heavy conviction from the Lord that I should be abstaining. I discussed it with Kai and he was like, I'm here for it. Whatever you want, likewise support, we can do that. So we waited. We got married on June 1st. By the end of June, we were pregnant. It was a pleasant surprise. I'll insert my little clip of me finding out. A few days later, I started to bleed and I was hopeful. I stayed hopeful. I have a lot of friends that are in the medical field. My sister has experienced a loss. So I was like reaching out to all of them, showing pictures, like, cause you can have implantation bleeding with a pregnancy and a safe pregnancy. You can even bleed quite a bit and a pregnancy can stay. It just depends on the person. But then the next morning at church, it started with spotting. So I was like, yay, implantation bleeding maybe. And then the next morning at church, it got heavier and heavier. And then throughout that day, it turned into a lot of blood. And I was convinced that I was losing it. So I got my numbers drawn. My tests, my strip tests were already showing up negative. Mind you, I got 6 positives. And then as the days progressed, the blood kept coming. My lines went away on my test and I got my blood drawn and I got it drawn again and the baby had gone. It was seriously one of the hardest things I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. I am gonna be 30. Just the feeling of, that part of your body that is supposed to be a home and it's supposed to nourish and protect and grow life. In that moment when I started to like heavily bleed, I was like, I'm a tomb. Like I did a disservice to my baby. My baby's dead. Like it's a hard thing to navigate. And I know that there's people who have been struggling with infertility for a super long time. I know that I'm blessed to have the babies that I have, but having a loss changes you on such a crazy level. I mean, it is just a level of grief that I never experienced before. And I literally, before I got the verification that my HCG numbers were like gone, I got on my hands and knees on the kitchen floor and I was like, God, bring me through this. I felt empty and it was crazy. And I was like, God, if you're not gonna let me keep this baby, please show me what you want me to do with this, because I don't feel like I can move forward. It is just, it's been a process. It's strengthened my relationship with the Lord. It's strengthened my relationship with others. It has changed me so much for the better. I miss that baby every day. I wish we wouldn't have lost it. We are still trying to grow our family. You get like a little sting when you experience loss, because there's like, you know, you're happy for others, but then you're like, why me? But then that just comes back to God's got a perfect plan. God works all things together for your good. And you really gotta trust in that. We lost it, and then, you know, my daughter's birthday was 4 or 5 days later, so then I was surrounded by all of my church friends, my family, just wonderful people, and I feel like that really helped. But grief comes in the craziest ways. It's a crazy thing to experience, but I do trust that that baby is with Jesus, and I will get to meet that baby one day. I wrote in my planner, I think it was a couple days after we had lost it, I was like, not in my planner, in my journal, I was like, Lord, and I'm not supposed to like ask God to do anything for you. I was like, if you could just I've been having dreams that this baby was a girl. I have a feeling this baby's a girl. If it's a girl, can I see like a blue jay or a blue feather? And on our walk, there was a blue jay feather. And I was like, it's a girl. Yeah, it's something. It changes you, that's for sure. Body, my choice. But that's a separate body. That's a separate soul. And it's hard to have that conversation with someone because the world is so me, I. And it's hard to have that conversation and not feel like, have someone else feel like they're being judged. I can assure you that that baby was knitted together in your womb, was given to you for a reason. It's definitely been a process. Some days are easier than others. I'm not anywhere near. I was in a depressive episode when this first happened. I needed the Lord to pull me out of that because I was like, I just didn't feel anything, and I never felt that before. So it was very weird for me. I just want to share with you as well, you are valid in your feelings. No matter if you were 4 weeks, if you were 14 weeks, if you were nearly 40 weeks, your feelings of loss are valid. The moment sperm meets egg, a beautiful little soul is formed, and that is your baby. And if you lose that baby, you are allowed to grieve and mourn and work through it as long as you see fit. You are that baby's mother, and even if you don't have any babies earthside, you are a mother, and you will meet those babies one day, and all those babies ever knew was love. They knew love in your womb, and they knew love the instant they met Jesus.